Welcome everybody. Welcome to the CarlosX360 channel. Today we're going to talk about the Battlefield 6 open beta. I have an article here. It's called Hands On with the Battlefield 6 open beta. Alright, so today we're going to talk about the Battlefield 6 beta because I spent like 2 weekends with it. So I'll read everything off the article here, and I'll talk about the state of Battlefield 6 as it stands today. Alright, so Electronic Arts has been trying to sell more Battlefield games for over 20 years now. Battlefield launched in 2002 as Battlefield 1942 for PC and Mac. Battlefield's best-selling games are Battlefield 1 at 25 million units, Battlefield 3 at 17 million units, and Battlefield 4 at 14 million units. As a franchise, Battlefield has only sold 88 million units in its lifetime, while their competitor, Call of Duty, headcount far exceeds 400 million units / downloads. Okay, so I'm gonna go from here and explain what happened in between one spot and the other, because it's a long story. Okay, so after Vince Zampella started Respawn Entertainment in April 12th, 2010, Electronic Arts started laying the groundwork on acquiring Respawn Entertainment. Follow me here. Follow me. Okay, just follow me for a second. It didn't start here. And it starts here, but it's going to build up a little bit. Okay? So, on December 1st, 2017, Electronic Arts completed the acquisition in a cash and equity deal. In 2009, after a few months of completing After a few months of completing Modern Warfare 2, and I'm talking about 2009. Keep this in mind, okay? So, Vince Zampella and Jason West were fired by Activision, denying that they were to pay 26. I read that as 26, so I'm gonna go ahead and correct that and say 36 million in bonuses and royalties. What followed was a lawsuit that resulted in them getting $42 million in I forgot, whatever. And so 42 million and an undisclosed settlement. Okay? During this period, Vince leadership Titanfall and Titanfall 2 after the EA, which is Electronic Arts, acquisition, Respawn released Apex Legends, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. in January 2020, Vince Zampella was tasked to lead DICE, which is like a acronym. Okay, so in the next few years, Electronic Arts brought other teams into the fold. DICE, Criterion, Ripple Effects, and Motive to form Battlefield Studios. After the commercial failures of Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042, Electronic Arts was keen on making the new Battlefield title the best game they've done since the franchise started. Likewise, the Battlefield 6 reveal trailer and the Battlefield 6 multiplayer reveal and the 2 beta weekends were met with rousing success. Even the risky decision to launch Battlefield Labs, which is a beta program where they distribute alpha build gameplay to test bugs, glitches, and other issues. It was also meant to test the servers at the same time. Battlefield 6 forgoes previous generation consoles and solely focuses on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. With this hands-on, I played on August 9 through 10, 2025. Then the second weekend, August 14 through August 17, 2025, this hands-on is going to focus on my gameplay on PlayStation 5. I want to preface this hands-on. Hold on here. Give me a second. I've played Battlefield for a long time. I've started around Bad Company. Battlefield, Bad Company. I have been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3 before it's even out. I was at E3 2005 and 2006 respectively. So, yeah. Call of Duty 4 is when I started to go deep into the franchise. I've played a little bit of Medal of Honor. And my favorite Medal of Honor title is Frontlines. It was obviously inspired by GoldenEye. It shows in the controls. I'm going to come at this hands-on with this expertise. More than that, I will assume that you are a casual. I will assume that you are just into first-person shooters and that you are tired of Call of Duty. I will point out why in this preview. Gameplay. For the most part, Call of Duty... Sorry, guys. For the most part, Battlefield 6 plays mostly like the previous entries in the Battlefield franchise. Battlefield 6 thrusts you into a war-torn Middle Eastern location. You are an infantry soldier soldier in the front line. In typical Battlefield fashion, you have 5 classes to choose from. Each has a special trait in combat. For example, if you select Recon, you are basically a sniper. Your trait is to spot enemies with your sniper rifle. If you're an engineer, you repair vehicles. Battlefield 6 blends a few Battlefield games into one. Most will go to Battlefield 3 and or Battlefield 4. Battlefield 6 is a modern warfare game. Pun intended. Pun intended. Zampella is at the helm of this project, so that Call of Duty touch is there. The gameplay feels familiar. It's a generic first-person shooter, yeah, but it is very much a Battlefield. But I can't ignore the inspiration. The little details that Battlefield 6 has that make it seem like they are trying to attract Call of Duty players to Battlefield 6. So naturally, Battlefield 6 is competing against Call of Duty, and it shows. Most of the beta is comprised of small maps, small teams. There's a controversy around this because most Battlefield games are big maps, big teams. The best way to describe this from Call of Duty's perspective is a bunch of modes that are similar to Ground War. In the beta, we had several match types that emulate Ground War. In a match of Ground War, it is typically 32 versus 32. The biggest match in Battlefield is typically 64 players or 64 versus 64. I even wrote an article about 128 players not being overkill. This was long before Fortnite was even a thing. Most consoles couldn't handle 128 players until PlayStation 4/Xbox One was on the market. Because that many players comes a lot of information which would cause lag. I would argue that most Call of Duty fans are looking for a Battlefield type of game. Oh yeah. Battlefield is that game at the moment. It blends the ideas of Call of Duty and ideas of Battlefield. Most Call of Duty fans are tired of the old 16 versus 16 match type. So Battle Royale and multiplayer need to move beyond the 16 versus 16, 32 versus 32, and even 64 versus 64 match types. Most Battle Royale games are capped at 120 players. I argue that we need to break this ceiling and bring more chaos to gameplay. I had a lot of fun in the Battlefield 6 beta, and you will notice why in some of the videos that I have embedded in this article. These are my highlights of the beta. Over the course of this article, I will explain the little details that make Battlefield 6 the perfect blueprint. Controls. I mentioned that Battlefield 6 blends ideas from Call of Duty and some ideas from Battlefield. This is one of those areas where Battlefield Studios fine-tuned Battlefield 6 to emulate Call of Duty. Now, granted, they did this with Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. However, Battlefield 3 had a few issues with the game itself when it was in beta and then at launch. My opinion with Battlefield 3 is that it's a good game, yes. But I would say there are some issues that I have with it. Controls feel a little sluggish, a little bit janky at times. Battlefield 4 was a more polished version of Battlefield 3. It felt like DICE learned a lot from Battlefield 3 and applied it. With Battlefield 6, this polish moved up a little bit. This is evident with the movement and the aim down sights ADS. Controls, feels, and implementation. They made it smoother when it comes to running and then transitioning that movement into action A to B. So if I'm running, I want to aim down sights. The animation is responsive. Now, if I want something from a distance and I want to hide from that player, I can transition from standing to crouching and then ultimately leaning on your back as if I was dead. All of that is responsive. No clunkiness, no weirdness, nothing. Black Ops 6 has a few issues in this department, and I said as much in the Black Ops 6 beta hands-on. Graphics. All the footage that I have captured during the beta is 100% from my PlayStation 5 at 4K RAW. It takes me an hour to upload the gameplay because PlayStation 5 records gameplay at 4K 60 frames per second, and the files are in WebM, a variation of WebP, which results in file sizes up to 20 gigabyte or for just 1 hour. YouTube compresses this from their end. During the compression process, YouTube upscales them to the various video resolutions, 4K included. Why am I saying this? Because Battlefield 6 is one of the best looking first-person shooters that I have played in a while. The Frostbite engine itself is being pushed to its absolute limit. At one point, it crashed one of my matches, and that was the only time that Battlefield 6 crashed in my game. Xbox Series and PC players had this worse. They were crashing a lot. The game looks similar to most first-person shooters on the market, but I think Battlefield Studios wanted Battlefield 6 to look and feel like a Call of Duty game, It's not just Vince Zampella on the project, but the developers themselves put their touch on the project, and you can see in the gameplay that I have posted here. At one point, Battlefield 6 tanker battles look entirely different than most first-person shooters. In Battlefield 6, you have two tanks. You can have two tanks in the same area, and they'd be battling for supremacy. It feels like Battlefield 6 is aiming to differentiate from all the other shooters while trying to attract Call of Duty fans. Online connectivity. For the most part, the online connectivity is smooth sailing. I think that Battlefield Studios made a great decision by foregoing the idea of porting Battlefield 6 to previous generation consoles like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Battlefield Studios' decision to focus on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC is better because I've seen how previous consoles hold back the current consoles. As I mentioned before, Battlefield 3 had some frame rate issues because there was a lot of players on the map, which feeds information between consoles and the servers. Battlefield 4 has a similar issue, but was mitigated by a more powerful console like a PlayStation 4. Music and sound. The music is good, but it only plays during menus and other user interface menus, like picking the spawn point in which you spawn from once upon dying. When you bleed out, the music also plays. I don't think it plays during gameplay, and if it does, it's kind of silent. However, sound design is the highlight of Battlefield 6. Between graphics and sound, they have the same quality impact. Beautiful graphics and beautiful sounds. For example, when you're in the tank, it feels like you're inside that tank. Every shot, every rocket feels impactful from the main gun and the gun turret, which, by the way, are both controllable. You and a player in the tank can both use the main gun and the gun turret. Each cockpit has a particular point of view, and both control independently of each other. Each point of view has a feeling because of the sound. Missed feedback. Obviously because of the PlayStation 5 controller, you're also getting impact from the haptic feedback. Every shot, every boom, every revolution can be felt from the haptics. If you can also feel like you are in a military match because the onboard microphone talks at you in addition to the voices in the game itself. Replay value. The replay value is independent. Oops, sorry, I read that wrong. The replay value is dependent on what you are feeling at the time, at the moment. Do you want to be an assault player? Do you want to be a recon player? Do you want to get into a tank? Is your team in sync with you? Are you ballsy enough to sneak into a tank and help out the domination flag and end the game? Do you want to be a sniper sniping from 20 meters away? Battlefield's greatest strength is from the freedom to do whatever you want in the game. That is the only difference between Battlefield games and Call of Duty games. Since Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, Call of Duty hasn't figured out a way to open up the gameplay loop. Battlefield's greatest strength, besides the freedom the game provides, it also offers destructible environments. Levolution has been a feature since Battlefield Bad Company. You can't technically camp in Battlefield. You can, but they would have a strategy to get you off your high horse. That strategy is called Levolution. So with Levolution, if you have like a tank and you destroy a building, that building comes down. Okay? So you can't camp in there too long. Not the whole match. Not even half of the match. Sometimes there's variables, guys. Okay? So that you can destroy just about any object in Battlefield games, although, and this is what the developer said, not all buildings or object is Levolution friendly, as in you won't be able to destroy all buildings, which is a game design choice, not a technical issue. It still gives you the complete freedom to do whatever you want on that map. In conclusion, the greatest strength that a Battlefield game has is the great freedom that players has in the sandbox game of a Battlefield game. You can be a assault player, a recon player, a medic, or you can go into a tank. Battlefield 6 is a beautiful looking game and a beautiful sounding game. With that beautiful looking game, you can level buildings in an effort to expose campers. Battlefield 6 encourages collaboration across all types of players. If you are a medic, you are encouraged to revive fallen players. If you are an engineer, you are encouraged to repair vehicles, including tanks. If you are a recon player, you are encouraged to spot enemies for others to eliminate. You are encouraged to resupply players with ammo as a support class. You are encouraged to use vehicles to your advantage. You can get into an aircraft, you can get into a jeep, you can get into a main battle tank. You can either be a driver and control that main gun. You can control the turret, or you can control the turret gun. Some of these vehicles can cause revolutions. This year, Battlefield fans have a great experience ahead of them. Battlefield 6 is scheduled to be released for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC on October 10, 2025. Gameplay footage is going to come up in a minute. Alright, to end this video, I'm going to ask you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, talk about CarlosX360. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to let gameplay run until it's done, okay? Ooh. Come on out, guys. Come on out. Is that it? No. No. Push forward. Push forward, bro. They're there. They're still there. They're up there. Come on. He's right in front of you. I got you 6. Just keep going. He's right there, right in front of you. All right. He's right there. He's right there. All right. So. Oh no, that's our Bogos. No? Just keep going forward. Ooh. Okay, nothing. Check. Nothing. Oh yeah, yes. Whatever you're doing, keep going. I got you. You got it right. Right. Yay. I got him. There's a sniper right there. He's right there. Victory, baby. So that'll be all for this video. The video is going to be down there in the description. All the links are going to be down there in the description. Go watch it if you're interested in all the chaos and more Battlefield content. I'll see you guys later. Stay awesome. See you.